Matt.
Hey, Jannik, well done this tournament. How was Carlos different today than the player that you have faced in the past, even as recently as Wimbledon? Did you?
Well, no, he has improved. I felt like was a bit cleaner today. The things what I did well in London, he did better today, and that's the result. So I felt like he was doing everything slightly better today, especially serving. Both sides, both swings, very clean. And yeah, I think that's it. There's, I'll give lots of credit to him, because he handled the situation better than I did. And he raised his level when he had to. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm still proud of myself about, the season I'm playing and making. But yeah, he played better than me today.
Controversial because it makes clear that what he lacked wasn't tennis, but mentality and execution. For a world number one to admit that someone else managed the big moments better sparks debate. Is Alcaraz already mentally stronger than Sinner?
Willie.
Jannik, when you think about that season that you just referenced, that you said you're proud of, what are your thoughts looking ahead to where this rivalry can go?
Well, I was very predictable today, on court, in a way of he did many things. He changed up the game. That's also his style of how he plays. Now it's gonna be on me if I want to make changes or not. So that's definitely, we are gonna work on that. Trying to be more prepared for the next match, what I will play against him. And it also, I feel like, depends how you arrive to play against Carlos. One thing is when the scoreline, matches before are comfortable, but you always do the same things, like I did, for example, during this tournament. I didn't make one serve volley. I didn't use a lot of drop shots. And then you arrive to a point where you play against Carlos where you have to go out of the comfort zone. So I'm gonna, aim to, maybe even losing some matches from now on, but trying to do some changes. Trying to be a bit more unpredictable as a player, and because I think that's what I have to do, trying to become a better tennis player. At the end of the day, that's my main goal. So, yeah, and I think that's it. So, but overall, the season result-wise, amazing. For Grand Slam finals of the year, 2 Grand Slams won, 2 times lost in the final. It's incredible results. So. Very happy, and now we try to finish the year as strong as we can.
Sinner says he was too predictable and that he needs to change, even if it costs him short-term defeats. He wants to take more risks and step out of his comfort zone. Here he shows brutal self-criticism. He admits that his solid game is no longer enough against Alcaraz. This divides opinions. Is it a sign of weakness to recognize the need to reinvent himself, or a gesture of maturity from someone who wants to evolve?
Eleanor.
Jannik, normally for a Grand Slam final, you'd walk out and the stadium would be full. Obviously, with people queuing outside, that wasn't the case today. I just wondered how kind of disappointing was that if you looked up and saw empty seats for the first set, I guess.
I wasn't actually realizing it that much. I felt like it was still very loud. I saw some empty seats, but I had no doubts that they're gonna be full and packed. But it's not a thing where I was like worried, that no people will come. So no, it was an amazing atmosphere.
Sinner claims that, unlike others, Carlos is a flawless player. A strong statement because it raises Alcaraz to the level of a complete player. Some will see it as respect, others as surrender. To publicly say that your biggest rival has no weaknesses fuels the debate about who really dominates this rivalry.
Ben.
And how much do you think that you can change your sort of practice habits and your training habits to do things that are specific to playing Alcaraz in the future? How much can you sort of reprogram a bit of your
Well, I don't think it's gonna be specific for Carlos. I think it's specific for me trying to get better. You know, I think it's that. You know, as I said, I feel like today he was cleaner than I was. You know, that what I did great in London, he did the same to me here. So it's a little bit like that. For sure, the serve today was not on point. I felt I was struggling a lot today, but was already struggling during the tournament. So, but no, it takes time. It's one secret is also patience. It's not like comes from now and then in Beijing I'm gonna be a lefty, so let's see. It's gonna take time and then we see. Look, maybe it's just a small thing. Maybe I can change big. I don't know. So let's see.
Okay. Last question, English. Charlie.
Sinner admits that his serve didn't work, that he was carrying issues from the tournament, and that improvement will take time and patience. Controversial because it sounds like an excuse to some and realism to others. While Alcaraz talks about immediate solutions after a loss, Sinner insists his is a long process. Two very different mindsets facing the same challenge.
Jannik, you mentioned there that playing Carlos is an additional challenge because he's so different from playing everyone else. Is it also hard because you tend to not have really tough matches? I know they're hard to win always, but you didn't drop a set reaching the French Open final. Does that make it hard as well, coming into a huge match when you haven't been properly tested going in?
Well, I said, the match against Felix was good for me, because you have these moments where you get tested also emotionally, a little bit. So, but I don't think it's only if you get tested or not. It's as I said before, how much of a game style you put in also to arrive to that point, and I'm a very, very solid, baseliner. I'm a very strong hitter. I'm a good player, but sometimes, adding just something, and I think that's gonna make a difference from my personal point of view, that I can say that I'm gonna become a better tennis player, and I'm gonna change a couple of things on the serve, just small things, but, they can make big differences, and then we see how it goes, I'm looking forward to play again these matches. Something new is now. I'm not number one anymore, so this also changes a little bit that you chase. It's different, and then we.
Sinner acknowledges that reaching finals without tough matches can hurt him, because against Alcaraz, you must be ready for real suffering, revealing because he admits that his comfortable path through tournaments can backfire. It sparks debate. Does the lack of prior battles make him vulnerable in decisive moments?